Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take a whole stack of sources, pull out the key stuff just for you. Today, we're jumping into a really cool bit of history. Tamiya's golden age for radio-controlled buggies. We're talking early to mid-1980s. This is when Tamiya basically made the 110 scale electric off-road buggy a big deal. You know, those smaller electric cars built for dirt tracks. It's a fascinating story about why some products stick around and others don't.
Yeah, and it's super important to get this right up front. These things were never toys, not like something you just grab off a shelf. They were proper hobby-grade kits. You had to assemble them piece by piece. They had better parts, performance parts, and crucially, you could fix them, tune them, upgrade them. That whole process, building it yourself, it created this deeper connection. You weren't just using it, you were involved. An active participant, really.
Absolutely. And here's a really interesting part, the sort of paradox we're digging into. Tamiya put out two waves of these 2WD buggies, pretty close together, 83 to 86. The first wave, that's the Frog, the Grasshopper, the Hornet, they became, well, legendary. Icons. Ask anyone who was into RC back then.
Oh, definitely. Cultural touchstones.
But then, their direct successors, the Fox in 85 and the Falcon in 86, even though they were technically more advanced, steps forward. We kind of just faded away. Relative obscurity.
Exactly. And that's the puzzle, isn't it? Why did one set become immortal and the next, despite improvements, mostly forgotten? So, for you listening, this isn't just about old RC cars. It's about digging into what makes a product last. How things like market changes, competition, maybe even timing, shape what we expect and remember.
It really makes you think about that first car feeling, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe your first bike, first console. The Grasshopper, Hornet, Frog, they landed at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
For a whole generation, one of those was likely their very first real hobby-grade RC car. They were relatively affordable, tough as nails mostly, looked cool, and building the kit, that was a huge part of it. Built up this massive nostalgic capital.
Yeah, powerful memories, things the later cars just couldn't replicate, even if they were better on paper.
You really hit on something key there. That first wave worked because it had such a clear strategy, almost like a good, better, best thing.
Precisely. It was incredibly well-defined. You had the Grasshopper, kit number 58043, that was your starting point. Built tough, easy assembly, came with a basic 380 motor, less power, sure, but great for learning. And you could upgrade it, put in a faster 540 motor, ball bearings. It was the perfect gateway.
The gateway drug, yeah. And then building on that same basic chassis, you got the Hornet, kit 58045. It came standard with the faster 540 motor and oil-filled shocks instead of just friction dampers. So better handling, more speed.
Right, it became the people's champion. Fast, fun, looked aggressive. It's probably Tamiya's best-selling RC ever, honestly. Huge hit.
And before both of those, technically, was the Frog, kit 58041. That one was different.
Totally different. It was the innovator. Quirky, even. It had this unique space frame chassis, much more complex, and proper four-wheel independent suspension.
Okay, so more advanced.
Definitely. Harder to build, maybe,
Yeah.
but it showed off Tamiya's engineering chops, aimed at someone wanting a bit more performance, a bit more of a challenge, a really smart tiered lineup.
So if that first wave was so well-targeted, so successful,
Right.
what went wrong with the next generation? The Fox and the Falcon, why didn't they hit the same mark?
Ah, the million-dollar question. Well, let's take the Fox first, kit 58051. It was meant to follow the Frog, but it kind of fell into this, let's call it a prosumer trap. It tried to appeal to everyone and maybe satisfied no one perfectly.
How so?
It had advanced stuff, like a sealed monocoque chassis to keep dirt out, those CVA oil shocks, good ideas, but it ended up being pretty complex and pricier. Too much for casual folks just starting out.
Okay, so not entry level, but maybe good for racers.
Well, that's the other problem. By 84, 85, the racing scene was changing fast. You had the team-associated RC-10 arrive. That car was a dedicated racing machine. Aluminum chassis, super light, super tunable. It basically redefined high-performance 2WD. It won the 85 Worlds.
Right, a game changer.
Exactly. And suddenly, the Fox, despite its features, just wasn't competitive enough for serious racers. Plus, Tamiya themselves were pushing into 4WD with cars like the Hotshot, also in 85. That took away the high-end buggy market, too. The Fox got squeezed.
Stuck in the middle. And what about the Falcon, number 588 or 56? That was supposed to replace the Grasshopper and Hornet, right? The entry-level champs.
Yeah, that was the idea. Offer independent suspension like the fancy cars, but keep the price closer to the entry level. A small premium for better tech.
Sounds good on paper.
It did. But its big problem was fragility. It just broke too easily, especially parts of the suspension and chassis. And for a beginner's car, that's fatal. Durability is key when you're learning. It betrayed that core promise the Grasshopper and Hornet delivered so well. A fragile first car is, well, it's a bad experience.
Ouch. So the proof is kind of in the pudding then, with Tamiya's own actions later.
You could say that. Look at the re-releases. Tamiya knows what people love, what has that nostalgic pull. The Grasshopper, Hornet, Frog, all re-released multiple times. Huge demand. Even the Fox got a re-release called the Nova Fox. People remembered it, even with its flaws.
But not the Falcon?
Nope. The Falcon remains, conspicuously absent from that re-release schedule. It's like a silent admission, isn't it? Acknowledging it didn't quite work out.
So wrapping this up for you, our listener, what does it all tell us? When we look back at products, what elevates something to legend status? Is it just about having the latest tech, or is it something deeper, like having a really clear purpose, a strong identity, and maybe most importantly, the ability to create those cherished formative memories?
Yeah.
Let me think about that. What product in your own life perfectly captures that mix of just hitting the mark and leaving a lasting legacy, something for you to chew on until our next deep dive?